Okay, here we are back again with more Dragon Age Inquisition, and we're back in Haven. We picked up, over the past couple of episodes, we've picked up no fewer than 4 new companions, which is amazing, and I have a bunch of new people to talk to. So we're going to go ahead and start over here with Blackwall. He is over here.
Good day to you.
Quit wandering around, buddy. Come in and talk to me.
Make a look at it. So much easier to ignore when it's far away.
I know, right? And it makes everything
and to
green.
Walk out of it. To be that close.
You could get closer. Yeah, I was pretty lucky, I would say.
If I hadn't been saved by the Inquisition soldiers, I don't know what would have happened.
Inquisition soldiers? That's not what I've heard. The breach, the Divine's death, the Wardens. It doesn't make sense. There's so much we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, your help will be invaluable. Is it we already? Your help will be invaluable.
Your experience with the Wardens will certainly be useful.
Mostly the treaties, I expect. Old parchments you're welcome to. What about you? How do you fit into all this?
Some worship me, I like that. I'm not sure yet. No, she wants peace. Like, that's really what she's going for here. Peace is good.
I just want to help stop the war. Try to put things back in order.
A worthy goal, one I'm happy to support. For me, I'll be satisfied so long as we find the bastards that killed the Divine. They owe us some answers.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, hey.
I've heard rumors of abandoned Warden camps all over these parts.
Okay.
If we have time, I'd like to take a look. See if there's anything we can salvage.
Alrighty. You're strangely charming. Tell me about the Wardens.
Let's talk about the Grey Wardens. You must know a lot about them.
Ah, the Wardens. I'm afraid we're less exciting than we seem.
What do Wardens do?
The Blight's been over for 10 years. What do Wardens do when the world's not ending?
There is still Darkspawn. Just because we killed so many in Ferelden doesn't mean they're gone. And the world is not so peaceful that there's no use for good men with swords.
That's fair.
Sometimes you have to figure out for yourself what the pledge to protect others really means.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
not always about just archdemons and blights.
So what was your role in the Blight?
Where were you during the Blight?
I was in Ferelden, on my own, like always. Quietly killed my fair share of Darkspawn too.
Oh, yeah? Interesting. So why were you traveling alone?
You haven't had contact with other Wardens for a while. Why were you on your own?
It's what I've always done. Recruitment only requires one man. Besides, I've always been a loner. Works best for everyone that way.
Okay. Where have the Wardens gone?
So you have no idea where the rest of the Wardens are?
Do you find that odd? The Blight is over. We don't need an organized force. And orders don't change much from day to day. For the last 1,000 years or so, it's been just find Darkspawn, kill them, repeat as necessary.
Okay, fair.
Let's continue this at another time.
As you wish. I'll be here if you need me.
No, we're still gonna talk about you now.
I want to hear more about you.
Compared to yours, my life will seem dull indeed.
I don't know about that. Up until about 2 years ago, she was living in a circle pretty quietly, so, where are you from?
Your name, Blackwall, doesn't sound Orlesian. Marcher, then. Ferelden.
I was from the Free Marchers originally. Markham. That was a long time ago. Another life.
So you have a past.
I hear that many Wardens were once criminals.
That's...
You're right. But when you join, your past is forgotten, so let's leave it that way.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that wasn't... But, you weren't always a Warden.
What did you do before you became a Warden?
I was a soldier, a nobody trained to wield a sword and follow orders. I grew weary of fighting other men's wars.
So you became a Warden?
More or less. Becoming a Grey Warden was the first time I felt like I mattered. The life I led before seems hollow in comparison. Perhaps one day it will fade away.
Okay, so why'd you become a Warden?
Why did you join the Wardens?
Because they remember honor and sacrifice. Words that have little meaning to the rest of us. because they lay down their lives for those they have sworn to protect. We all need to believe there are such men in the world. I needed to believe I could be one of them.
Okay.
We can continue this discussion at another time.
Very well.
Clearly, this is a man who needs
Something
the
on your
wardens. What are your thoughts on the Inquisition?
What do you think of the Inquisition?
I expected more. More men, better equipment.
Well,
You may have Andraste's favor, but wars are won by men, soldiers.
why war at all? Yeah, I don't think she wants to be at war.
Avoiding war altogether would be ideal.
True enough. Still, it never hurts to be prepared. One thing I will say about your men. They're passionate, devoted. You inspire them. Build on that foundation, and you will have an army that makes nations tremble.
Okay. So thoughts on the war?
What do you think about all this trouble between the mages and Templars?
Looking at it from where we stand, it seems inevitable. But that could be hindsight. How many of us actually saw it coming? In a way, I don't think the Chantry will ever recover.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, from the outside, you have to wonder how many people saw it coming. Like, how many average people saw it coming. Within the circles, I feel like there was a sense of growing tension for quite a while. But for someone who's just an average person and not a mage or Templar living their life day to day in Thedas, I feel like it blindsided most of those people. What about Haven?
What do you think of Haven?
It's a war camp that was once a pilgrim's refuge.
Yeah.
It's the state of the world, though, isn't it? Holy ground turned into a battlefield. Pity about that temple. Would have been nice to see it.
It was pretty. What about our cause?
What do you think of the Inquisition's cause?
Restoring order is a goal I support wholeheartedly. But that's not the end of it, is it? Not by a half. The Lady Seeker believes we are restoring the Chantry. Others say it needs reform. I don't know where you stand on the matter, and I'll admit I haven't made up my mind either.
I don't think Nadia has either, to be honest. Thoughts on my advisors?
What do you think of my advisors?
Liliana seems nice. Also a little frightening, but mostly nice.
No one's watching.
You're not saying that for my benefit, are you? Are you so certain you're being watched?
Are you so certain we aren't? I don't want to wake up with a blade in my kidneys if I can help it.
That's fair. Inner circle?
You must have some feelings about our friends.
I fear for Cassandra sometimes. The way she throws herself into battle. I've never known a warrior like her.
She's pretty crazy like that, yeah.
We should return to our duties.
He'll have more to say later.
As you wish.
I can repeat
You
those.
are, after all, in charge.
I can repeat those options there multiple times, so we'll do some more of those a little later. But I want to talk to other people now too. Let's talk to Krem. I like that we have Krem to talk to
Can I
as
help
well.
you with anything?
I wish this angle wasn't so bad. Okay, so let's talk about the Iron. I wish I could. Is there a better way that I can? Is this better? This is better. Gosh, this is much better angle. I want to see your face, Krem. You've got a great face. I want to look at your face. I don't want to look at your metal chest. That's not as pretty. Let's discuss Iron Bull.
I'd like to know more about the Iron Bull.
The chief. First time I met him, he saved my life. I never thought I'd work for a Canary, but he grows on you.
Oh, does he?
He's not like any commander I've ever worked for. That's for damn sure.
Let's see. So what kind of commander is he?
How's Iron Bull as a commander?
I like how he's standing like right over
If you
here,
know what
but
you're doing and hold up your end, he's easy. He doesn't accept any less. He keeps us alive, he leads from the front, and if you've an idea that'll win the fight, he listens. I've seen bands whose captains had to prove they were swinging the biggest sword. Bull isn't like that.
he already is swinging the
Charges
biggest
might
sword.
give him more lip than you'd expect, but every one of us would lay down our lives for the big ass.
So how did you end up with him?
How did a Tevinter soldier wind up in a Kunari spy's mercenary company?
I wasn't a soldier at the time. I was in some trouble, trying to flee to Vinter. A Tribune and his men caught me in a border town tavern. They meant to make an example of me. Bull killed them. Gave up his eye doing it. Patched me up and asked if I was looking for work. I've
Cool.
been putting up with his jokes ever since.
He gave up his eye for you.
That's how he lost the eye.
Yes. The guards had me on the tavern floor when Bull came inside and yelled for them to stop. One of them saw trouble coming and figured he'd finish me off. The guard had a flare. Bull put himself between me and the blow.
Wow.
Big horned idiot. Didn't even know me.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I like about the Iron Bull so much, honestly, is his willingness to step in to help people like that. Like, he didn't even know you, and he did that. He lost his eye doing it. Like, that's amazing. The Iron Bull's a pretty good guy. Is him being Kunari odd at all?
Is it strange to work for a Kunari?
He hasn't tried to convert us to the Qun, if that's what you're asking. Bull's charges don't care who you light a candle for, so long as your shield stays up. If he hadn't told me he was Ben Hasrath, I'd have thought he'd left that life behind.
I'm surprised he told you at all.
I didn't expect he'd tell you all that he was a spy.
Not the whole band, but those who've been around long enough to trust. He figures most of us would find out sooner or later, and it should come from him. Eyes to eye, he says. It's never messed up a job. He just writes letters back home. Lots of the boys write letters back home.
Okay.
We'll talk later.
No, we're gonna talk now. Grim! Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Ugh. I hate it when he glitches out like that. Alright, fine. Let's talk to the Iron Bull.
They've got good form. Cullen's putting his Templar training to good use.
How'd you know he's a Templar? There's really nothing I can do about this particular angle. We're just gonna be looking at his man bosoms.
Did Cullen tell you he was a Templar? He's not wearing the armor.
I mean, he has the things on his arms, but...
Might not be a Templar shield, but it's a Templar holding it. He angles the shield just a bit down. Helps direct fire or acid away, so it doesn't spray right into your face. Kanari learned the same thing when we trained to fight Tevinter mages. Your Templar's doing good work.
Yes, he is.
I'm impressed by what Cullen has accomplished with the troops.
Damn right. It takes time to build a group into a team, but he's got their loyalty. Now he just needs them to make a decent shield wall, and they'll be good to go. Biggest problem for the Inquisition right now isn't on the front line. It's at the top.
Oh?
We've got no leader, no Inquisitor.
Do we need one? We could just have a triumvirate.
The Inquisition has done all right so far without an Inquisitor.
The Kunari have a
Because all we've
triumvirate.
needed so far is damage control, reaction. A group can handle that. Once you've sealed the breach, it's going to be time to make decisions. Someone's going to have to step up. Who knows? Maybe you sealed the breach. The Chantry gets off its ass and all those soldiers go home and get fat.
You think?
It could happen. It won't. But it could.
That's fair. Will Krem talk to me now, or do I have to reload? I have to reload to talk to Krem again. Oh well, that's fine. I can talk to Krem again later too, so it's alright. Maybe if I stand a little bit farther away.
How's it going?
Well, it's a little better. That's fine. Tell me the Ben
I'd
Hasrath.
like to know more about your work with the Ben Hasrath.
Ben Hasrath is actually a general term. You've got the secret police who investigate problems inside our territory. You've got the re-educators who take people with problems and fix their minds. Or make them disappear.
That's
and then
pleasant.
You've got the spies.
Re-educators.
How do the re-educators work?
I only know the basics. Wasn't my area. That said, keep a man awake long enough. Ask the right questions, give the right potions, and you can get him to say anything. You don't need blood magic or demons to change someone's mind. We're a lot more fragile than we'd like to believe.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Is it really that easy?
You can alter someone's beliefs that easily.
One of my friends was a re-educator. He said that every memory is like the page of a book. When you examine a memory, you're turning to that page, and when you're there, the page is laid bare. Write a few notes in the margins of the page, erase a word here and there, and your whole outlook changes. I always felt a little weird reading after that conversation.
Yeah, I have to admit that's kind of a revolting thought.
The re-educators sound horrible.
Yeah, they probably do. Here's the thing, though. What happens in Orlais when you commit a crime or betray a lord? They just lop your head off. At least the Qunari try to fix you.
So your job is spying, huh?
And you're a spy.
Close. I am now, I suppose. But that's not how I started. They sent me to Saharan because they needed someone who could fight and hunt down problems. That whole island was a sack of cats. Incursions from Tevinter, Tal Vashath, and native rebels fighting both sides. And in the middle, me, trying to wrangle the rebels and restore order.
That sounds kind of impossible.
How'd that work out for you?
About as well as you'd expect.
Yeah.
I hunted down a lot of rebels. Lost a lot of friends to the Vince, or the Fog Warriors, or the Tal Vashath. One day I woke up and couldn't think of a damned reason to keep doing my job. Turned myself into the re-educators.
Wow. Even knowing what they did.
You'd heard what the re-educators did to their prisoners.
Yes, I had. I wanted them to fix me like they fixed them. The Ben Hasrath ordered me to go to Orlais, ostensibly as a Tal Vashath, and work undercover. That's how I ended up here.
Well, yeah, I guess it means I got to meet you. Because, I mean, like, if he's your type, he's really your type. Like, whoo. Man, oh man. The Iron Bull. Yeah, he sure is.
I'm glad you're here, Bull.
Me too.
If you ever need to talk more about all this, let me know.
Nah, it was a long time ago. Thanks, though.
Ah, nice. Maybe if I step back just even a little bit more.
What's going on?
Maybe? It's a little better. I kind of got his face. Alright, tell me about Qunari.
I'd like to know more about the Qunari.
You writing a book?
Well, I want to know more about you, the Iron Bull.
It's your culture, and I'd like to know you better.
You could just ask.
I am.
I am.
All right. What do you want to know?
Let's see here. Yeah, how is it growing up?
What's it like growing up under the Qun?
The Tamasrans raise us in these units of kids all our own age. They're like teachers or chantry sisters. They also help figure out what jobs we should do. They had me pegged for military work early on. When they learned I could hit stuff and lie, they started training me for the Ben Hasrath.
You didn't choose your job.
So the Qun decided what work you would do. You didn't get a choice.
I could have acted like I didn't like hitting things, I guess. But why would I do that?
It's
I was
fair.
good at my work. I liked doing it. Far as I can tell, the Tamasrans made the right call.
Yeah, I mean, that seems... Like, that doesn't seem so bad that, like... It's not like the dwarves where, like, you're born into a caste. You're born into the caste of your same-sex parent, and that's where you are. So, like, if you're a girl and your mother is a smith, then you are going to be a smith. Whether you're actually good at smithing or not, that's what you're stuck in, right? But the Qunari, it really is kind of a meritocracy, where it's like they train, they educate everybody, and then the Tamasrans are like, okay, well, you're good at this, right? And you obviously enjoy doing it, and you're good at it, so this is what you should probably do this is what you should do with your life, and, like, assign people, and, like, based on, what they're actually really good at. And generally, if you're good at something, you probably also enjoy doing it. So I guess if you really don't enjoy doing something, you could just, try to find something else you're good at. I don't know. Like, it seems a little bit more logical when he talks about it like that. Some of the Qunari stuff is pretty brutal, but, like, the whole not having a choice in what you do with your life or whatever, doesn't seem quite as bad when he explains it like that. So how do they govern?
How do the Qunari rule themselves?
It's pretty simple. We've got the matriarchy, the priesthood, and the military.
A triumvirate.
The priesthood figures out how Qunari should live in theory. The matriarchy makes it work in practice. And the military keeps the Qunari safe from outside threats.
Is there much dissent?
Does it actually work like that? Is there much infighting?
Not like you're thinking of. People disagree, yeah, but the priests are there to solve disagreements. Here in Orlais, politicking comes from people putting their own gain ahead of the gains of society. If you do that among the Qunari, the Ben Hasrath set you straight. Or kill you.
Okay. Day-to-day life.
How is everyday life different for Qunari?
Depends on your job, I guess. Some are just about the same. A baker in Valroyo gets up, gets dressed, and starts work. A baker in Parvolan does the same thing. They don't care about the Empire or the Qun. Mostly they worry about breaking eggs and hope the dough rises right.
Except that baker isn't free?
It can't be exactly the same. The Kunari have no personal freedoms.
How many personal freedoms do you figure that baker in Valroyo has?
Yeah.
Life isn't about freedom.
It's a good point.
The baker in Parvolan wonders if she'll be given enough eggs to do her work. Will they come on time? Will the kitchen workers get her bread while it's fresh, or will they come late and blame her 'cause it's stale? Same crap in Valroyo. People are just people.
Alright, and, yeah, if they just fell to the Qun?
Do you ever think about what would happen if the Kunari conquered Orlais or Ferelden?
Some folks, like Cassandra or Cullen, would do fine if they didn't die fighting. Those two love rules. But the mages... Can you imagine Solus trying his fade dreaming under the Qun? Or Vivian doing her political bullshit? Both Sarah and Varric would mouth off until they ended up re-educated, drugged until their minds broke. So, to answer your question, no, I don't think about it much at all.
I think it is really telling that even as the Iron Bull feels comfortable living under the Qun himself, he readily admits that it would mess with a lot of people. So do you not marry?
I've heard there's no marriage among the Kunari.
Yeah, that's true. Kunari love our friends like anyone does, but we don't have sex with them.
Kunari don't have sex?
Oh, we definitely have sex. They're Tamasrans who pop your cork whenever you need it.
What, really?
Seriously?
Yes. It's not a big deal like it is here. It's like, I don't know, going to see a healer. Sometimes it's this long, involved thing. It takes all day, leaves you walking funny. Other times you're in and out in 5 minutes. Thank you. See you next week.
You don't know true passion?
So, you've never really made love? Connected with someone in both body and soul?
I don't know. One time they used this thing called the Sato Nerapan. It's a leather-wrapped rod on a harness. That wasn't really my soul. Also, there were more than 2 people.
No, I don't think that was your soul, Iron Bull. I don't think that was your soul. Oh, man. Oh, so what does Kunari mean?
The word Kunari, is that the race or the religion?
Both. Kind of. The humans and elves who follow the Qun are the Vidathari. The Kunari who break away from the Qun are Talvasha, deserters.
And those who predate the Qun?
What about Kunari who existed before the Qun?
The people we came from. They're called the Kossith, but we don't use that word for the race. We came south to Thedas because the Kossith were... I don't know. We had to leave. The stories aren't clear. But I don't expect they look much like us. Whatever they are.
Interesting.
See you later, Bull.
See ya. What's going on?
Why the name Iron Bull? Let's do it. What's behind the name?
So, how did you get the name Iron Bull?
I picked it. We don't have names under the Qun. Just, I don't know. Job descriptions, I guess. When I came to Orlais, I chose the Iron Bull for myself.
Okay, but why that one?
But why specifically Iron Bull?
This may surprise you, but I really like hitting things.
Yeah.
Also, it's the Iron Bull, technically. I like having an article at the front. It makes it sound like I'm not even a person, just a mindless weapon. An implement of destruction. That really works for me.
Okay, Bull, whatever works for
See you
you.
later, Bull.
See you.
Man. Yeah, he's something else. He's something else. I appreciate how much thought actually went into the name. Like, he actually, like, considered that. And the in front of it and whatnot is, like, super, like, he specifically likes that. and for very specific reasons, right? So, like, Iron Bull is a very smart man. Let's put it that way. He's a very, very smart man, and he doesn't...
I'll ask around again tomorrow.
He pretty much doesn't do anything without consideration. He thinks things through a lot more thoroughly than a lot of people maybe give him credit for. Anyway, let's talk to Sarah some more.
Chasing the Lord Seeker, I hear. Anyone who thinks they need Lord in front of the name, that's bad.
Probably.
His portrait taller than he is. That's your first clue to a total arse. Fact.
Right. So, tell me about your background.
Tell me about yourself.
Oh yeah? Interested, are you?
Yeah. You're different for an elf.
You're not like most of the elves I've met.
Thanks, right? Or was that an insult?
No, it
Because
was...
I could go barefoot and whine more. Like that's soulless, right? Never be as good as we were. Well, who's we? I'm just fine.
So what, you're saying... get over it?
I think there's more to it than that. A few thousand years more.
Hey, if someone wants to be angry about old debts, be angry. Be a terror that never lets an enemy forget. But if you're digging it up so you can wear it, that's just weird. I mean, the Dalish don't really know. They have stories, but that's all they are. It's all fancy dress, not history.
Okay, so where are you from?
How about the basics? Where are you from?
Ferelden?
I got that from the accent. Where in Ferelden?
All over? Okay, fine. Denerim for a bit. South, north, wherever I want.
I can make evasive jokes too.
Oh, you're from wherever. I'm from north wherever.
What?
North wherever. Oh, we had fun on street and or in local tavern.
Oh, hardy ha. Oh, funny you. It's complicated. I don't like complicated. Let's leave it at that. Maybe.
Okay, well, who trained you?
You're skilled. Who taught you how to use a bow?
No one.
That seems unlikely.
What? I picked it up here and there. Mostly it just makes sense. It's not like that for you.
Only when I'm boasting.
Oh, certainly. Not a day's effort for the naturally gifted like us.
Well, it's not like that. It takes work. A bit. Not like Cullen and his pets. I mean, you miss, then you don't. Is it that hard to see when it's wrong?
Is it an elf thing?
Most I know couldn't find an arrow sitting on it. Right. Maybe I just make it look easy in shite company. Fact still is, no teacher.
Okay.
Where would I find one in alleyways anyway?
Okay.
We'll talk later.
If you say so.
Let's do this
Chasing
again.
mages, that's a Templar's job. A big armored, pissed off helm polisher. Not too late to go find some. Or stay home.
Tell me about your friends.
You apparently have a lot of friends. Tell me about your network.
It's not mine, right? I mean, it is, but it's also everyone. Everyone who wants to shove it to nobles who hide behind gold and silk. And hats, I guess.
There are a lot of hats. Was there ever a Red Jenny?
Is Red Jenny real? Or was she always just you and your friends?
Dunno.
Don't you care?
Not if it works. I mean, red is scary because blood. And Jenny is... Look, nobody fears the bunch of people who do random stuff. And besides, it's easy. Nobles want a bogeyman because they need to believe normal people can't get at them. Numbers, yeah? An even spread is all it takes.
Okay. Do you share the blame too, then?
Doesn't this mean people think you're guilty of more than you actually do?
Suppose. Does it matter?
Shouldn't it?
Important people kill over imagined insults. I've made more than enough real ones, so no. I don't suppose it does.
Okay. What does your group do?
Are you just about pranks and revenge, or is there more to it?
Well, it's a weave, right?
A
I
what?
grease a ballroom, so a wyvern chasing Git has to hunt Sprained. Strangely, handmaids leave his vault open. His heirlooms pay off someone else. Maybe clean streets in Kirkwall so someone gets something else. Pish, pish, pish. A lot of people eventually get help or a laugh. Or maybe someone dead, if they deserve it.
Huh, good to know.
I'm glad I met you before someone decided what I deserved.
You're no hateful ass so far. I'd just get you with a pie or something.
Oh, a pie would be
Anyway,
alright.
Assassin's a bard's job, innit? No
Yeah.
fun, that lot. They might plonk a noble, right? But only to raise another.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm shy at singing.
Bards usually work for nobles. So I expected people from you.
Where are the people you promised?
If I knew, they wouldn't be much use. That's sort of the point. Look, unless your baddies are rocks or trees, they have people they use. Cooks, squires, wipers.
Fair.
Yeah, I know. Wipers,
Yeah.
right? You better believe the one with wipers deserve it. Right in the...
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Yeah, they probably
Little
do.
people will be there when you need them. In a million little ways.
So it's strength in numbers.
So lots of little contributions add up in the background, like snowflakes that snap a branch.
What? Sure. Like snow, I guess. Anyway, it just works. Most of the time. Friend of a friend and little hints. Mind you, you still have to be smart. Don't bet your life unless you're into that.
Yeah.
Risky, yeah? But you like a bit of a tease.
Well, as long as it works.
I can play along if it works for you.
You have a choice. Hail the Inquisition.
Okay.
We'll talk another time.
It's all good, isn't it?
We can talk some more later, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Sarah's fun. I feel like it does get a little tedious sometimes asking her so much and expecting, like, more than what she's giving you, all the time. Like, sometimes, you know, you just need a network of little downtrodden people.
The Bull's Chargers? They've got a healer of their own. He showed me some tricks. Got a demon claw wound to stop festering faster than I'd ever seen.
I've heard good things about the Chargers. Polite and respectful they are.
Everyone's respectful around us. Never know when they might need their guts shoved back in.
That's true. I think the Chargers are a pretty good group, though. Let's see what Vivienne has for us.
Though you had granted them power over the very Fade itself.
Yes?
Well, let's see. Tell me about yourself.
I'd like to know more about you, Madame Vivienne.
Whatever would you like to know?
Loved.
Where are you from?
Your accent's not Orlesian. Where exactly are you from?
I am from the Circle, my dear. One's country of origin rarely matters there. But if you must know, I was born in Wycombe in the Free Marches.
Okay.
I was sent to the Ostwick Circle, but I transferred to Montsimar while still an apprentice.
How did you become a courtier?
I'm curious how a circle mage winds up a courtier.
Nobody winds up at court, my dear. It takes a great deal of effort to arrive there. I caught the eye of Duke Bastien de Ghislaine, an advantageous connection that opened many doors. When the position of Enchanter to the Imperial Court became vacant, I was able to secure it.
You married a duke.
You're married to the Duke de Ghislaine.
Of course not, my dear.
Yeah.
Don't be ridiculous.
No.
Marriage is the business of alliance and inheritance. I'm Bastien's mistress.
What does his wife think?
And what does the Duchess de Ghislaine think of this arrangement?
We got along quite well. Duchess Nicoline and I used to host musical salons together. She was a great patron of the arts. She passed away from a fever a few years ago, the poor dear.
Okay. What is a court enchanter?
What duties does a court enchanter have?
I am tasked with providing assistance to the Empress on arcane matters. Most of my predecessors restricted this to lighting lamps and doing parlor tricks. In such troubled times as these, however, I provide political advice to Her Majesty on the subject of the Mage Rebellion.
Okay.
Yes?
Tell me about the circle.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle
I
of
mean,
Magi.
you know.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
What was your circle like?
I've never been to the Montsimard Circle. What was it like?
A place of great history and tradition, with the greatest library of magical history outside of the Imperium. It was deeply involved in the Great Game, as you might expect of anyone living in Orlais. The mages there were quite competitive, but it was stimulating to be always pushed to exceed the abilities of my peers.
Okay. Wasn't the circle disbanded?
If the Circle disbanded, how can you still belong to it?
The Circle is an idea, my dear, and an idea cannot be dissolved. Many of the first enchanters voted for rebellion, caring little that anything short of a unanimous decision would pit mage against mage. Rather than dissolving it,
Grand Enchanter Fiona's vote split the circle in two. The rebels follow her. The loyalists follow me.
Shouldn't you replace Fiona then?
If you led all the loyalists, why are you only First Enchanter and not Grand Enchanter? Grand Enchanters are elected, and since there are no First Enchanters besides myself, no vote can be held. I could name myself Grand Enchanter, but the title holds no meaning now.
Yeah, true.
When the circles are restored, that will change.
I see. That's what she thinks anyway. So tell me about the Templars.
You must have an opinion of the Templars after living so long in the Circle. Having opinions about Templars, my dear, is exactly like having opinions about mages or Navarrans or men. I have known some who were impossible to endure and some who were utterly charming. I have suffered insults at the hands of those in the armor, but no more than I endured from nobles or tradesmen in Val Royal. Personally, I have found the Templars a useful tool, skilled at keeping more unpleasant elements at bay.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. When you think about, like, when you're thinking about individuals as opposed to institutions, it's fair. But if you're thinking about the Templar Order as an institution, you have to, think about it as more of a big picture thing than about individuals. But in the same way that, true, like, the Circle is not all mages, but it is an institution and it has had an effect in the world, so... How did the rebellion start?
How did we come to this state with the Circles in revolt? You, my dear, are far too wise not to have realized that many of our colleagues live with their eyes closed. Safe from the world inside their towers, they thought only of the Templars and their own resentment. Kirkwall gave the world a reason to remember its fear of magic. A mage killed hundreds with a snap of their fingers. Across Thedas, a new tangible fear of magic grew. Commoners and nobles alike called out to the Chantry for protection. But the malcontents in the towers thought nothing of this. They cared only for themselves and for their anger at the new Templar restrictions. When a mage attempted to assassinate Divine Justinia, again, the mages protested the investigation. The leadership chose to vote on independence based on the intolerable conditions imposed by the Templars, sparing no thought to the fact that magic was more feared in the aftermath of these attacks than it had been since Tevinter's day. So long as they had their freedom, they could care little for riots, angry mobs, or about pitting mages against each other.
Were they justified?
Did they have cause to rebel? In the aftermath of their terrorist attacks? Was that really the most opportune time to break away? By all means, protest abuses by the Templars. Just don't do it in a way that says mages support wholesale murder. By voting when they did, my colleagues all but declared war upon the ordinary people of Thedas. A war in which we are outnumbered 100 to 1.
I mean, she's not wrong. Though, I mean, ultimately, it is a kind of a consequence of segregating mages so much from the rest of society. When you do that, then it stands to reason that the people who are segregated might not really have much of a stake in that society if they're, they've been kept from it for so long. So it's kind of, it becomes kind of inevitable when you do that, ultimately. And again, with sort of the mages and Templars, when you force them to other each other all the time and not think of the others as people, then, that's kind of an inevitability after a certain point. Yeah. It's complicated. So, do you know Fiona?
Are you familiar with Grand Enchanter Fiona? We've met. Before her horrendously ill-timed and selfish vote for independence, I thought her adequate at her job. In her dotage, she could not handle looking after the well-being of so many people.
Ooh, boy.
We would have done better to replace her years ago, to let her spend time gardening.
Harsh. Mages are fighting mages, then.
I thought the fighting was only between mages and Templars. Why are mages fighting mages? The vote for independence was carried by only a small margin, but Fiona chose to let the motion stand. Those who opposed a rash declaration of war against the entire free world had little choice. By breaking from the Chantry when they did, the rebels declared themselves in support of mass murder. Anyone who did not wish to support terrorism and the slaughter of innocents was forced to take arms against the rebels.
I mean, yeah, again, like, she's not entirely wrong in the sense that, like, the timing of this was kind of bad, right? Like, in the wake of what Anders did in Kirkwall, and then, yeah, there was another attempt on Justinia's life. Another mage tried to kill Justinia before the conclave ever happened, and a bunch of other things were happening. Like, the optics of, like, I hate using the word optics, but really, I mean, the optics of breaking from the Chantry at that particular time were pretty good, were pretty bad. Like, that was just not good timing. Like, that on that front, Vivienne is completely correct. If nothing else, like, that's completely true.
Yes?
I'm not gonna. She has a lover. She's Duke Gisle's mistress. She's not interested in that. I want to help the Circle.
Is there anything I can do to help your efforts at restoring the Circle?
After the Circles fell, their libraries were plundered by scavengers. 1,000 years of recorded knowledge in the hands of bandits. It makes me sick to think of it. I've received news that some tomes have been located, if you are interested in righting this wrong.
Sure.
I'll look into it for you.
If you can take care of this matter, the Circle would be in your debt.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Nadia has absolutely no problem trying to find some old books. You know, there's no sense in losing knowledge if we don't have to. I think we've pretty thoroughly talked to our new people now, so that's cool. Next time, I'll probably, like, go back to the hinterlands and run around a little more, and, finish up some quests in the hinterlands, probably. So yeah, as always, if you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode. Later.